Hello, folks. In a second here, says camera off. We got it. Yes. Welcome. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Good. I got an issue with it's giving me my voice through the sound through my computer, but you can hear me good. So Dan is here. People in the chat, can you hear us good? Let me know. Give me some hearts if you can hear us. I'm not seeing any hearts. That's weird. Dan, how's
How's
it
my
going?
audio?
Okay, I can hear you. So tell us what you're seeing.
Well, we got Greg Bavino about a mile away from me right now in a nearby suburb. We're here in Northeast Minneapolis, where they've been using this parking lot behind me. This is a senior high rise to stage and rip around. So I've got my eyes on this today. We got people patrolling Central Avenue. It's been a very active day all across the city. Reports of, oh God, they're just everywhere. And Bavino's here, and they're heavily armed, and we've got everybody out patrolling and doing rapid response, and we're chasing them off the best we can.
Yeah. And this is again everybody who's joining in. This is the boots on the ground in Minneapolis. ICE is still highly present there, is what you're saying?
Oh, so incredibly present. They're everywhere.
And
Yeah.
maybe just introduce yourself real quick. People can find you.
Yeah, I'm Dan Engelhardt. I live in Northeast Minneapolis, Minneapolis Park and Recreation Board, and leader of a local hyper response group and on the core team of defend612.com. So that's a resource to get people connected. Defend612.com. We're getting cohesion and connection on rapid response and patrol networks across the city of Minneapolis. And we can connect people all across the metro here too.
Excellent. And then when I publish a replay here, I can put some links. I mean, what's going on too right now with getting some? I heard there's a GoFundMe for Renee Good's child. Have you heard
Yeah.
about things like that, or what kind of things are going on?
See, there's the whistles. We got spotted ice right here. We're honking, yeah. So they're staging out of this senior building. Here comes ice.
People are blowing whistles when they see ICE drive by.
Yeah.
And that was the vehicle that just
That's ice right there.
Oh, hi.
Not Durango.
How are you identifying them?
Yeah, we got them all. Yeah, we got a plate watch. We blow the whistle. Yep. They're really busy on this corridor here of Central Avenue. This is a Somali restaurant right here. And the senior high rise right there.
Are there any apps, or are there? Maybe you can't tell us here. Are people using various ways to track them so people can find them and be safe and get them alert? Or
Yeah, we use the Signal app, but we try to. We're not going to put out links or anything like that. But if people want to get involved, we need them to use Signal.
Yeah. So what's I don't know, man. I mean, strength to you. Thank you for the effort, everything that you're doing. What else can other people do? What can people across the country do to help?
Well, we do have a fundraiser on Defend 612 for resources. We've so far bought vests. You won't see vests on Central right now with the people patrolling, but we're using those like at Cedar Riverside, which is a highly Somali neighborhood, and more on East Lake Street. But we want them all across the city, and we just need more supplies and resources. So there is a fundraiser on the defend612.com website as well. If you know anybody in the Twin Cities Metro, that's a place to get connection and cohesion. We're really focused on Minneapolis for right now, but we can connect people all across the metro through defend612.com.
In the chat for people so they can find it. We got people coming in. Yeah, I mean, thank you. People are saying in the chat, thank you for doing that. I guess, what else can you tell us? I mean, you're right there. What's the feeling?
Well, we're, people wondered if we've been talking to all sorts of media, including this call right now, and if the murder of Renee would back us off, and it's done the exact opposite. We've seen, Signal has 1,000-person limit per channel, and all of our hyper local groups are exceeding those limits. We get just tons of people joining us every day, and maybe being out on the street doing foot patrol or auto patrol and rapid response isn't your thing. Maybe you have money. We could certainly use that in the form of resources on that fundraiser. Maybe you can do admin work from afar. There's a role here for everybody, and it's a real tipping point. in the descent and slide into pure fascist authoritarian rule. And we're ground zero yet again. And we're ready to fight here. And we can, we need the support in any way anyone can. And there's roles that can be done remotely. And of course, money in the form of resources too. So we're strong here in Minneapolis. We're gonna fight as hard as we can. We're having success when we're able to show up with a number that's equal to, and if we can double their number, we chase them off. And we got eyes on the street. We are developing community like never before through this effort. We got people talking right here that are out patrolling every single day, all day. We're connecting with neighbors and just developing deeper and deeper relationships. They will not win. We are going to win. Every single abduction is a loss, but they take us too. They take the observers and the rapid responders. And as soon as we say we're going to exercise our Fifth Amendment rights, they let us go within a few hours. But it's a fight. It's a fight for our freedom, and we need support from everywhere.
I love your hat, by the way. I like that positive. Is that something people can buy for?
Yes, you can buy this online. You just basically put it in a web search, you'll find it. So yeah, and it is Somali people that are making and selling the hats for sure.
And what you said before too, when you show up in a group, the ice tends to just scurry away. Then you're saying, or
Yeah, when we're able to show up with enough numbers, we are able to stop abductions and move them along for sure. And we're really frustrating them. I mean, they frustrated them to the point of murdering Renee 2 days ago. But they're really getting pissed off at us. And I mean, we can stop abductions. We have success in stopping abductions, and we're slowing them down and costing them money and exposing their heinous behaviors. And that's all we can do. And we build community all along the way. There's more of us than them. We can take them, but we need everybody to get involved. And it's here now. It's going to be where you are eventually, one day or another. I started this group. I did July 6th when a neighbor, Jose, was taken in front of a local business. He was going to be doing a roofing job. And that was July 6th. And I was mad at myself that I didn't start something in December of last year, knowing this was coming. So it's coming for you too. We're ground zero, but get connected. I mean, it's, get people to start training, learning rapid response. There's all kinds of resources that you can use. We want them to be shared at defend612.com.
excellent. People mentioned in the comments. Have you heard anything about outside agitators being brought in that are? I don't know.
Yeah. Public workers, letter carriers, and such have gotten notice of possibly a pro ICE demonstration happening tomorrow or Sunday, and obviously they were here. In 2020, we saw white supremacists terrorizing our city for weeks on end. So that's now they're actually employed by the federal government, but who knows what else is going to come along with that. But I'm sure many of the same people that were here terrorizing us for weeks in June of 2020 are literally employed by the federal government right now doing this shit to us.
And like you said, I mean, it's coming everywhere. I think you've talked to me before. This is I'm gonna say your name, Daniel Engelhardt. Am I pronouncing the name right? I guess I have to double check it every time.
Well, that's
out of Minneapolis. People are asking out of Minneapolis, what the organizing you've done, the community stuff. Can we have? We're going to need more conversations about this. How people, because everybody's scared, and if we're active, we're doing things. We can make these. We can resist this, and maybe just. Can you give us more guidance about how to do things like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we could spend some more time maybe where it's not big trucks rolling by and people blowing whistles, but and I'm happy to do that, and definitely defend612.com. And we've been working closely with folks in North Carolina that have experienced it in a kind of a more rural setting, and folks from Chicago. So we're game to help everybody. But real quick, I'd say, find like-minded people, start talking, start forming a group. It's easy enough to start a signal group and get people in there. You got to have some calculations. I mean, your goal is when you show up, you can stop abductions with enough numbers to slow them down and to cost them money. And so you got to make some calculations. Are you going to be about control, or are you going to be about scale? And we made a decision to be about scale. We need numbers. So we're not, we're letting people into these signal groups. We're not putting them on social media, the links or anything like that. But we're just assuming, our chats might be infiltrated. That's fine. What we're doing is legal. That's the thing. We are constitutional legal observers. We honk our horns and blow our whistles when there's danger. This is danger. They are the ones that are violating people's constitutional rights. They are the ones that are breaking the law and also morality and basic human rights. What we're doing is legal. So there's, of course, it doesn't matter. Like for a while, we were handing out know your rights cards, and what does that matter? Because they don't care about anyone's rights. All we are focused on now is making sure people have whistles. So, people have been sending us whistles to mspwhistles.com. You can also send them to Defend 612. They're basically dovetailed organizations at this point. But, go to your neighborhood organization. If you don't have a neighborhood organization, form one. Talk to people if you have a place of worship. Wherever you are in community, talk to people, start a group, get people talking about this, find those resources, look through them, and get it set up. It's that simple. We really have to overcome what we are expected to have here over the coming months, which is perhaps another 60 days or more, who knows, to have hyper local groups. We need somebody on that corner. That's a Spanish Latin church, right, that I'm pointing to. We patrol those during church services and we connect with the church. Schools have been a target, so you don't just show up at a school though. That'll freak people out, and so it's important to talk to and connect to the community and get to know the rhythm of people that you might not be in relationship with yet. You will develop relationships quickly. People that don't look like me, that are brown and black, are appreciative is all hell. If you just go up to them and tell them what you're doing, they're so thankful, and we've heard they came for this group, first they came for that group. They're coming for you no matter who you are. This is where they're at now and who they're coming for now. And it's about no one's free till we're all free, and right now no one's free.
Correct.
But just connect with your community. And form a signal group, and it'll grow exponentially.
Yes. Is my mic better now? Let me do a mic check real quick. Is it better? And then I have let's try this. Is this better? Better? Worse? No? I'm sorry. I guess I'm having some sort of. How about now? Is this better?
I've been hearing you fine the whole time.
Okay. Well, people are saying in the chat. Well, if you've been hearing me fine, that's good. How much time do you have, by the way?
I mean, I don't know. We just had, we had people honking at a ice and blowing whistles just minutes ago. So I probably should get back to patrolling. And we had Greg Bovino and his goons about a mile away. So I should check in on what's happening there, and I should really but I can walk around. I said I'd be doing this and trying to watch this parking lot. And then I walked out to the street just so you guys could kind of get more of a view here. But, there's some of our Somali relatives over there. It's a very diverse community here.
We're up to 130 viewers. And yeah, people want to know what's the general. I mean, we've just been so sad. I was so sick when I heard the news about this assassination, this government sanctioned assassination. I heard about that. Yeah, sorry about the technical issues today, people. How are you guys feeling there in Minneapolis now?
I mean, we're in the midst of mourning and anger, and we're stronger than ever. We're more determined and more focused than ever. And we know that's what Renee's wife wants and what our community needs. So instead of backing off, we've come back stronger. We saw all of these signal groups meet capacity, and we're forming second additional groups for rapid response, and they're hitting 1,000 and 1,000. So Minneapolis is not the place to mess with. We are going to show up, and we are going to build community throughout this, and we're going to fight.
I saw a video of a ICE agent with an SS tattoo on his neck. Are you seeing things like that?
Oh, all over the place. Yeah. Walter and I have a Wisconsin background. I was talking to my mom, who lives in South Minneapolis now, and we'd see that sort of thing sometimes in parts of Wisconsin. And back then, I was talking to her the other day, and she said, we always thought the the FBI or the CIA would just take care of them. It wasn't much to worry about. Now they're employed by ICE.
Yep.
So that's
Well, I mean, they
it.
just pardoned all these people. They pardoned all these violent criminals. I mean, this I call it the white supremacy Republican administration. They are funneling billions of dollars to these extremist groups. They are pretending that they're above the law and they're murdering us. And thank to people like Dan. Thank you so much for just shining a light on what they're doing. And the heroes who are taking videos, because had it not been for those videos people took, this administration would have tried to lie and cover this up.
They're still trying to lie. Yeah, I mean, they're the one of the most heinous things. I mean, of course, they have their own communications team that is making. There's a video if you've seen it or if you haven't. They're you know showing themselves brutalizing people, chasing down alleys. And I mean, I'm walking right now in this parking lot, and it's glare ice. What melting ice on top of ice. We're melting ice, but it's not safe to be driving the way they're driving. That's for sure. They don't know how to drive here. And they put this, video out to the song "It's Cold as Ice," and it's just heinous. It's just like it's a game to them, destroying people's lives. And then, I mean, I'm on the ACLU lawsuit that we have that we're hoping for an injunction any day, any day now, please. But the in that event, I was following them, observing them in my vehicle. I pulled over when they pulled over, and they had a film crew with them, and I thought it was their film crew, their communications team. It was it was a right wing streamer group, full like headed up by a J6, pardon person. I mean, it just made me so mad. And then they let him into the towers, the big towers in Cedar Riverside that is mostly Somali. And it took me naming myself as a park board commissioner to finally get some clarity on, who was letting them in and that sort of thing. But now we've got signs up and they won't let them in unless they have a signed judicial warrant. That's another important thing. They cannot come into a workplace. I mean, you got to work with your employer, or if you are an employer, to make it clear, put up signage. They can't come into non-public spaces without a signed judicial warrant. In terms of the Minneapolis Park and Recreation Board, which is a quarter of the city's land, we just passed a resolution on Wednesday night that I authored, making the park board go as far as they can go, but also making sure that public workers are directed by whatever entity it is that they cannot aid and abet ICE, that they are not allowed to on work time or with work equipment, but also what they can do. Can they declare themselves on break? Can they and can they do the constitutional observing that we're all doing? If they see something happen, we have staff that are running around doing their jobs, and then they see an abduction. Can they get out and record? So we're clarifying that in policy and in resolution, and doing what we can. I mean, parks are really important to us in our identity here in Minneapolis, and a place to go relax. And they can't be staging in our parks. Our parks are for park activities, and clearly what they're doing is not a park activity. So we're working to get through that. But then, I mean, just last night, they were at our major public hospital downtown, Hennepin County Medical Center, and they refused to leave. All 7 county commissioners told them to leave. The legal counsel for the hospital told them to leave. Multiple elected officials from city to state told them to leave, but the Hennepin County sheriff refused to trespass them. So, we have work to do with our sheriff. It's just you got to push on every level you can. But the main thing is people getting out there.
Yeah.
We can stop them.
Does it do any good to call up these sheriff offices and tell them we need them to be arresting them for trespass, or would that help?
I mean, the Hennepin County Sheriff Witt has gotten so many calls. I mean, I've talked to her myself for half an hour. At this point, we're gonna be very clear with a group of electeds to talk about what the community demands, and demand that she has a community meeting and stop talking out of both sides of her mouth and take action. That's for sure. The Hennepin County Sheriff has jurisdiction over the federal building, which is the Whipple building closer to the airport here. And they took a constitutional observer for allegedly, harassing ICE, and had him for a few hours. We were able to, really push to get him released without charges. but they shouldn't have taken him in the first place. That is aiding and abetting ICE, and it's bogus. So, yeah, I mean, I'd say wherever you are, if you're here, they're going to pay more attention to your constituents. But if you're not experiencing it now, expect that you will, and be proactive. Build your community and be engaging with your elected officials, or do like I did, run for office yourself.
Yes. And they've been trying to expand the budget even more for ICE. That's been in the news a little bit lately too. They want
Yeah. Yeah, they have endless resources in the form of money, and that means they have endless, untrained, unqualified. In fact, the opposite, like, just fools that they're hiring, and it's dangerous and it's scary. But yeah, they have more money than I think any branch of the U.S. military, maybe all of them combined at this point.
Mm. And are you seeing them target schools?
Yes, the same day they murdered Renee, they went to Roosevelt High School. They took a student. There were multiple unsubstantiated rumors of them taking students today. Minneapolis schools were closed yesterday and today as a result of this, and it's unclear when our students will be back in class. There's online learning being offered, and maybe that's the direction we're headed again for the foreseeable future.
So the ICE has essentially shut down public education for every resident of Minneapolis because they're abducting kids effectively,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Classes are canceled.
Yeah. Yeah. School was canceled yesterday and today.
Jesus. And so you said you've been stopping. How do you even stop an abduction? I mean, we've seen that they're blatantly criminal. They're willing to assassinate even when they're being videotaped. I mean, what do you propose when people are getting abducted?
I mean, everybody has to have their own level of risk assessment and make sure you have an exit plan and make sure they feel like they have an exit plan too, to some extent. But, it's about the numbers and it's about, making noise. If you're in a vehicle, honking your horn is quite effective. And it's actually what the law says, I believe in nearly every municipality, is that the horn is used when there's danger, to alert of danger. There is no more danger than ICE in our streets and any of this federal alphabet soup. And blowing your whistle and then having strength in numbers. And, they'll say it's 15 feet. You got to stay 15 feet away, whatever. I mean, be careful. If you're recording, you say, I'm listening to you. I am 15 feet. And, that way you have your camera out and you can prove that, and, slow them down, cost them money, figure out what that means for you in real time. That's for sure. I guess another thing that I haven't said yet is that early on in this hellscape, people would say, "Oh, that's not ICE because it's this or that." It's an alphabet soup, and so, like they're using unmarked vehicles mostly, and some of them are quite undercover. Couple things. I mean, the vehicles are typically really heavily tinted windows. That is a common SUVs, and they're never alone. So it's always two to three or more in a vehicle. So that's a tell. If you think it might be ICE. If it's somebody alone, it's almost never ICE. And that's also that goes for us. I do patrol in my vehicle quite a bit by myself, but working better on making sure I have a buddy. And so strength in numbers, but heavily tinted, like incredibly illegally tinted windows. Do they have a computer? Are there two or more? Do they drive like they are looking for somebody, like they don't know where they are? They're made abductions in 2 minutes, 3 minutes. They just snatch people up and just take them. So we have to have, you have to build out community, and people can say, okay, I'm gonna walk around my block on repeat for a half an hour a day and be connected. And on the Signal app, you can literally have a live call where you're all talking to each other, and then have dispatch basically, and then relay from one community to the next when you see them heading out of your hyper local zone. So there's a lot we can teach you through defend612.com. Hopefully we just win the war, or win the battle in this larger war right here in Minneapolis. But I don't know. They got enough money to bring this to anywhere they want to in the United States. So-called United States. But also don't there's a lot of people that drive SUVs with tinted windows, especially here in Minnesota. So, be mindful of that. It's hard when you might be suspicious of anybody and everybody, and when it might be your neighbor. Adults learn by doing. So getting out and doing it, and you'll learn, and you'll get a rhythm for your neighborhood and a rhythm for the work, and you'll get really good at spotting them. because they're kind of easy to spot after a while.
Yeah, and it's so gosh, it's so good that you're out there kind of educating us on this, the reality of things. We're all just kind of imagining things. I'm so worried still. I mean, these masked men, we don't, at what point are they just going to march into schools and start I feel they're all active shooters essentially. They can just march in. Most
Yeah.
schools say that you're not allowed to enter, but I mean, they don't follow laws.
Well, I mean, let's remember, I am in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where we had Melissa Hortman and her husband and their dog assassinated by someone looking like the secret police and an unmarked police, 7 months ago, less than 7 months ago. And now we're being harassed and terrorized by effectively the same thing, but under the guise of the federal government. It's ridiculous. But yeah, they could walk into a school and say they feared for their life because a student walked in front of them. I mean, that's hardly the difference from what happened with Renee Good on 2 days ago.
Are you seeing things get, are they the same? Are they, how long has this been going on? Has it been getting worse or better? Or what are your thoughts there?
I mean, it's getting worse. There's no
Oh,
doubt it's getting worse. We, we started seeing limited activity. Like I said, we had a neighbor, Jose, that was taken, has since been deported back on July 6th. And there was another incident October 10th in my neighborhood where we were able to chase them out and rapidly respond. But then in late November, we had a big raid at this facility, Brotex, and then ever since then it's been just nuts. And we had, what they called the first surge was 150 officers, and then the second one was 350, and now they say they have 2,000. And we, I mean, we noticed the difference. That we noticed everyone that comes. It's very noticeable in our community.
and who was it? The mayor asked them to leave, and in response to that, I mean, how are you feeling about your or your elected leaders and their response?
I don't agree with my mayor on much, but I do on that, and I'm glad that he's been as vociferous as he has. Our so many, yeah, in the neighborhood I'm in here of Northeast Minneapolis, City Council President Elliot Payne is literally out patrolling right now. Our state representatives are leading the charge. Uh, you know, there's park board commissioners like myself. Elected officials are really standing up. We certainly have an issue, like I talked about earlier, with our sheriff, but we're working on it. All 7 county commissioners were at the county hospital last night, where ICE was there refusing to leave. So we have good leaders here, and some of them, especially in greater Minnesota, which is what we call rural, um, are really kind of leading their local, hyper local response groups and connecting through that legislative body. Of course, on the Democratic, and in Minnesota, it's the Democratic Farmer Labor side. I'm not aware of anybody on the Republican Party that's doing anything particularly helpful in this moment. And now would be the time to start, Republicans, but I'm not sure where they're at. They're apparently just accomplices to this at this point.
Do you have any big pro or demonstrations planned coming up?
There are. I gotta say that that's not my lane at this point. I'm not that I'm opposed to protest, but my opinion is that I'm a leader in this hyper local rapid response and patrol operation. And that's where I want to have eyes on the street and boots on the ground in the communities where they're, you know, I believe we're going to win. We believe we're going to win, and we believe it is our duty to win, and we will. But it is not. It doesn't feel like you're winning when you see someone taken.
Or
Um,
shot or
yeah,
killed,
or
assassinated?
murdered. Yeah, absolutely. And every incident of that we can stop is vital. There's a place for protest. People are going to show up to that, but the where I'm rolling is we're focused on our immediate neighborhood. This senior building, which is heavily immigrant. This whole business corridor, and then they go in these side streets. That church is a immigrant church, Spanish speaking church. So that's where I'm focused. There are protests tomorrow. There's one at 1 p.m. at Powderhorn Park. There's another one at 11:30 somewhere. There's people been going down to protest at the federal building that they stage out of, which is called the Whipple Building. And that's great. But my focus is on stopping abduction, slowing them down, and costing money out in the streets.
Yeah, thank you so much, Daniel. You're saving lives, and this is so important. Every single time you're out there, if you I mean, I know. Let me be. Do you need to get going? Or you got a few more minutes yet, or you're still okay?
You know, a couple minutes, I guess.
Okay, and just I
I'm
want
not
to. I
hearing
mean,
whistles, you know.
yeah, but I mean, it's so important because this is a live video. We're up to 168 people watching here. So again, what's that webpage people can go to support you?
Yeah, defend612.com, and that's to support our efforts. We are quite successful now at this point in building out the numbers that it's going to take. So it's about just about sheer numbers and hyper local being able to have eyes on patrol or as part of their daily rhythm, and then activating these rapid response numbers when we can show up. We can stop abductions, and we're certainly slowing them down and costing them money. So defend612.com, and there are resources there for you to start doing this in your community or get ready for when it comes to your community as well. So yeah, defend612.com.
Yeah.
We have other, other local organizations you can look at, such as Monarca and MIRAC, Minnesota Immigrant Rights Action Coalition. But defend612.com is really focused on this specific piece of patrolling, rapid response, and ice watch, and building cohesion across the city. And we are really doing that in the thousands.
Oh, and have you seen a lot of more people getting involved since this assassination?
Broke up a little bit. Say
Oh,
that again.
are you seeing more people get involved since this assassination? More people coming into your
Oh,
group?
exponential growth. We've had to create new signal channels, max out at 1,000, and we've maxed out on, the mutual aid channel maxed out today. The patrol channels maxed out, so we create additional channels and do relays between them. So if they thought that was gonna stop us, it's not. It's making us stronger, and we know that's what Renee wants would want if she was still with us, and what Renee's wife said, that they came here, they love this community, and we love them, and we're going to fight in her honor. And yeah, it's made us more active, not less.
Are you seeing then too ICE also becoming more aggressive as you guys respond to them? Is that changing? Are those strategies
Oh
changing?
yeah, I mean, it's what is a recent development is the border patrol, and we believe that this is possibly the first time the border patrol is, well out of their 100-mile radius. They don't care about rules or anything like that. So, here we are. We're nowhere near a border. The Canadian border is 300 miles north of here, and Lake Superior is 150. So, but the border patrol is certainly more aggressive. It was a border patrol officer um, that murdered Renee. So,
Wow.
yeah, that was a way more aggressive body. Now they're honking. I probably should figure out what's going on the street.
All
Uh,
right, sir. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. Let's be in touch again. Be
yep.
safe. Anytime you need
So-
support, we got it for you.
Sounds good.
All right. See
Take
you.
care.
All right. I'm still here. I'm going to stay here for a few minutes. I do want to say real quick. I mean, everybody, please. I know I've seen a lot of names in the comments just now. I know everybody's just super, super emotional, and especially in comment threads, there can be the illusion of disagreement. I've seen some comments there, and we are all on the same side, everybody. And so let's just we got to have unity here, and so let's make sure our language in the comments is positive. I'm just reading through some things here. Does anybody have any questions or things they want to say? Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're not playing. We can't play with it anymore, like King Revet says. And I'm gonna continue to talk to Daniel. I've had a couple talks with him. I hope I'm coming through okay. This was just kind of a last thing. Thank you so much, Kat. And yeah, technology gets me sometimes, but yeah, man, seeing what he's doing out there. I know Daniel. I've known him for a while. He's part of the cross country ski community. Good. I'm glad my mic's fine now. Any other thoughts, real quick? I want to share again. Here's that. Yeah, these guys got to be safe. But I think we learned too. I mean, I didn't know prior to talking to Dan just now that this was our strategy. This was our response. You take your whistles. The second you see ice, you start making noise, honking your horn, like he said. And he said also too. Also, we do our own personal risk assessment. I'll share the replay. I can neurodivergent. I'll put it out again. But yeah, it's really so important now too. Yeah, I mean, I learned a ton just now. I learned a ton now just from this. And like Daniel said, he's right on the front lines with who's being targeted by the aggressions of our federal government. And he's got a lot of things that he can say that he told us about how to organize. I'll be on Dan a little bit more too to give us more direction as he learns things. Because the more we know about their tactics, the more empowered we are to respond to this, to get organized ourselves. And it's just a big thing to remember. They'll be driving around in their little cars with their tinted windows. They show up someplace, and if they encounter a crowd of 1,000 people, all of them holding their phones, going live on the Substack, they're going to just turn tail and run. For the time being, that's what we're at. But the more that we can, agitate them or defy them or prevent these abductions, and again, they are not honestly showing, or they're not keeping track of these people that they've been grabbing. We don't know what becomes of them. Some of them are returned, and then some they just pretend, they just didn't exist. So we got to continue to find out new ways to stay organized. Any other questions there, folks, as I'm going here? Yeah, I got a lot to process after just talking with that. Yeah, the box of whistles, I'll share it again. He's got his page, Defend 612. You can buy his great Somalia hat and just showing support for our immigrant friends. Hey, remember, if your skin color's like this, you are descendant from immigrants. And at some point, people in the United States, yeah, I got to get Jen Budd on here. I know she's talked with Arturo Dominguez a couple times. I need to talk to her just for some more insight into what we can do. Yeah, talk to people, everybody. And yeah, remember these chat threads always, yeah, they make us, they create enemies when there is no animosity. I mean, that's just kind of the way of things. We're all on the same side. Stay positive, stay in this fight. We got to be unified. They want to divide us. We don't want to allow them to divide us, because, in our unity is our strength. And call your representatives. There has been chatter lately, and even we've seen the feckless Democrats have not been out denouncing this. We got to completely defund ICE. This shouldn't be happening. We shouldn't have armed officers out just murdering people. That we can't allow that. And I just haven't seen enough anger, honestly. I've seen it here on Substack, but in the general United States of America, there hasn't been enough anger. We need to have a response. And we're blowing whistles. That's legal. You can honk your horn. That's legal. And he said, give him that 15 feet. I mean, be safe, everybody. Be safe. And our politicians have no courage. We got primaries coming up, folks. We got primaries, and we got to get them out of there. In the meantime, there's a lot of things we can do. I mean, Zuri Stevens just shared a post about all the Democrats who are like thanking ICE, and it's just sort of like, primary all those assholes. 100% of them, if they're thanking ICE, they need to be primary. Get them out of there. And we've all been kind of lulled into the sense of sleep. The government works for us. They are our servants. It's not the other way around. These entitled jerks who think they're entitled to their seats until they're, the end of their lives. We got to get over that mentality. We got to activate the resistance. And, Dan's out there walking the streets, blowing whistles to alerting to ICE, alerting people so that they know, and, recording these attacks. As we said before, if those brave people hadn't been there recording what had happened to Renee Good, the regime would have lied, and they would have smeared her character, and they would have made all these accusations that aren't true. Vote them out. Please get organized in your communities. I'll have Dan on more to give us more information, because he's on the front lines right now. He's seeing what's happening. He's telling us how it's escalating. The situation is escalating. Yeah, they're trying. They're going to continue to try. And if they're not in your town now, they will be. Because, they've been doing this for a year now. And they've been getting a lot of people. But what do you think? They're going to disband it once they've gotten all the immigrants? They're coming after. You think my name's not on some list somewhere? It's going to be the dissidents. That's going to be the people saying other things next. I mean, and it's not going to stop. That's the other thing we have to remember here. Bullies don't just one day say, well, I've got enough stuff now. I can stop terrorizing and harassing people. It's never going to stop. And until we stand up and we are unified and we make it stop. So all you wonderful people here, yeah, I mean, thanks so much for tuning in. It gives us a little bit more of an idea of what's going on. And I feel just kind of emotional now just having seen Dan walking around. The sound of those whistles as you see those cars roll by, standing in front of a building that he knows is targeted. I mean, we got to go out and defend our schools to prevent these lunatics, these masked people who claim to be federal agents, even though they do not prove their identity and they do not carry badges and they don't even show their faces, but they turn up in our streets with military weapons. I mean, this is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. And it's not going to go away. And all you wonderful people, you're all making a difference. Yeah, they said Kat said that she heard that Renee was specifically targeted. I mean, and that's another thing I was talking about today with Shane and Arturo, that the right uses so much just hate speech. There's just constant, nonstop hate speech for people that have done nothing wrong. They just are human beings who want to live their lives. And the right preaches hate constantly. And they have all this rhetoric that they use to incite their base. And we have to counter it because we need protection from the federal government at this point because they're out murdering us. They're going to come after all your kids. I mean, they've been killing people. They're killing people. And I mean, the media is not covering it. The media is not covering all these people that are dying. I posted today, what if we spent that $170 billion on education instead? What if we took the $1 trillion that we spend on the military and spend it on, educating your kids? What if we spend it on positive things? Instead, we're giving it to just the worst people. And as Daniel said, he's seen a lot of guys out there with white supremacy tattoos, hate tattoos, they're members of hate groups, and they're getting your tax dollars. Guys with SS tattoos and swastikas and shit, they're getting your tax dollars to go around and beat up and murder innocent people. I mean, and then the fucking Democrats are considering raising the budget for ICE. Needed to fund that. That needs to be abolished. That needs to be removed. This whole organization, Border Patrol, ICE. Do you feel safer? Do you feel safer spending all that money on that shit after watching them assassinate somebody in some suburban area? Assassinate a young mother named Renee Good? Well, yeah, okay. I think he just meant in the context, Laura, and he said I think he says the rights card, but because and they, your rights, but ICE clearly is not following the laws. They're not following the laws. And yeah, it is important. It is important, Laura, and you're absolutely right. It's important for us to know the laws so we can defend them. And, but I mean, I think right now, just having organizations is so much more important. Yeah, MLR, Zuri Stevens posted a thing today about the Democrats who were thanking ICE. And so, yeah, they need to be primaried and don't listen to their bullshit, about the safest choices. They always say that. We can't vote for the progressive. It's like, look, if we vote in these assholes who claim to be Democrats, but then they refuse to stand up to ICE, what the hell good have we done? Because they're murdering people. And there have been more deaths that haven't been reported. And if it wasn't for citizen journalists, this shooting wouldn't have been reported either. They wouldn't have told the truth about it. They would have smeared that person's history. I don't know what Laura is responding to there. I hope I didn't say anything that they disagreed with. But yeah, I mean, everybody, there's so much more. I mean, a lot of people write me, a lot of people ask me what we can do. And really, 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 we have to get together. I mean, just a group of us together, stand arm in arm. Because really, the real fact right now is you're going to make a choice. Are you going to stand together arm in arm with your neighbors and your friends and your community? And are you going to do that, or are you just going to die alone in your house when these fucking Gestapo agents come to assassinate you? They are not obeying the laws. They are not obeying rule of law. All the way to the top, where we have a criminal president who might not even be a legitimate president, and because we didn't bother to do election recounts, and that's another thing we got to pressure our Democratic representatives on. We need recounts for every single election because we know that this is a white supremacist movement. The MAGA movement is a white supremacy movement. They cheat. They don't play by the rules. They never play by the rules. It's an entitlement of grievance. They think that they're entitled to everything. They think they're entitled to the money you have in your pocket. They steal labor. They steal land. They steal life. And so for our Democratic representatives to act as if you can negotiate with people like that, people who view you as less than human, you can't negotiate with that. I mean, I just said today, we got to have people obstruct any possible way. Don't hold the door for them. If you've got Republican colleagues entering into a building, don't hold the door for them. The 2 seconds it takes for them to open the door, that's 2 seconds of delay where they're not able to murder somebody or enable the murder of innocent people. Delay, delay, delay. And those 2 seconds start to add up. And as Daniel showed, I mean, this is a big country. Do you think, I mean, how much money is it going to take for them to put some armed lunatic on every street corner to get us to do what they're telling us to do? I can't even believe I'm saying these things. And the other thing is, I can't believe so many people aren't aware of what we're up against right now. Okay, good, Laura. I wanted to just clarify that. And yeah, I mean, it's like I said, in these chat threads, I mean, you guys are doing a good job. I've seen a couple minor disagreements. We don't need that. We need unity. And again, I mean, face-to-face conversations, we're alike. We want the same things. And you honestly know what? There are people you might even be able to go down to your local gun store, and we might be able to start getting through to those extreme MAGA people because their whole identity is based on standing up to tyrants. And we can get through to them. We keep talking about having ways to get through to these people. There are whole movements in the United States that are based on not allowing a tyrannical government to establish itself. And we're seeing it. A tyrannical government is there. What further proof do you need than people who claim to be federal agents, even though they refuse to identify themselves and they refuse to show their faces, marching up to a car and shooting a woman in the face, a young mother named Renee Good, just murdered and taken from us. And, that's just the latest one. And this has been going on since the beginning of ICE and since the beginning of Border Patrol. And you know what? They claim we can't have an open border, but, well, shit. Maybe if we didn't kidnap the leaders of South American countries, unlawfully kidnap them and throw their countries into disarray, maybe there wouldn't be so many immigrants coming to this country. And this is another thing that the United States has done. Yeah, there you go, Laura. They're coming for their guns. They're going to come for your guns. Now's the time for that argument. They're coming for your guns. And if that makes some of these people that have been formerly MAGA see the light, well, now's the time. Now's the time, because they are coming. And we have the videos of them shooting and assassinating and killing people and torturing people, and they're grabbing up kids. So, I mean, yeah, the United States, in its history, it's been, it overthrows these progressive governments. It goes abroad and overthrows progressive governments. It doesn't install progressive governments. And that's why South America gets destabilized. Yeah, go see Egberto, what he's doing. That's great. If he's talking now, perfect. I'll do my best to get Daniel to come back on here a couple more times. I'll give it a few more seconds. I'm just still kind of riled up. I'll read through here. Yeah, King Ray Vet says, thanks for being a clear, cool head. We need that. I'm telling you, you know, it sooner or later the resistance has to be awakened. People have to realize what's at stake, and there's no hiding from this. People keep saying, "Wait till November." No, got to do something now. Got to do something now, and it doesn't have to be earth shattering. What you do, organize, share this video. I mean, when I post the replay, share it, restack it. I love all those likes, but the restacks actually help more. Restack it, share it on your socials, put it on Facebook, put it all those things. Yeah, waiting got us. It's the line. Thank you so much, Laura. Yeah, and it's the line from football of the prevent defense only prevents you from winning. We have got to go. We got to be unapologetically progressive. We got to demand things that they tell us are unreasonable. And we've already established. We don't even ask for things that we want anymore. I mean, it's not this. They say land of the free, home of the brave, and we're neither. We're neither. Look in the mirror. Time has come. Look at what we're allowing them to do for us. Yeah, they're coming for the guns. And we have to, just start demanding the right thing. Like I said, there's no reason what good does the military do us at this point? That $1 trillion? That doesn't make me feel safe. The money they're putting in border patrol, that doesn't make me feel safe. They're using it to murder people. Are you using that money to do that? Those transgressions against us? Who do you think is going to come take your guns and your family and your house and your life? Yeah, I talked about it with my wife today. I got a rifle that's been at my grandma's house, but I think I'm gonna go get it. And I'm from one of those. I haven't picked up a gun in 20 some years, but we used to be. I'm one of those country kids, and we used to just do. That was our family activities. Would go out and shoot, and it'll be in the house, but I'm not gonna allow people to march into my house and steal my kids. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, folks. It's so upsetting. But I guess, like we said, the biggest thing right now, cameras too. And that's the other thing. That's the big takeaway from Daniel's talk. We got a lot of power. We just make a presence there. We stand there. We don't let them enter. We alert our neighbors and our friends. Reach out to the people in your community, that might be targeted, and be sincere and start organizing. Indivisible is another good one. This defend 612. I got about 10 more minutes. I'm just going to kind of wind down just because I'm just kind of worked up because of that. I'm glancing at the comments. Anybody else have any things you want to add? Kat's here. We're scheduled to go live later on tonight. Kat and I are going to be there at 7:00. What are we talking about, Kat? I don't know. There's everything this whole week, and I hope you guys have managed to get over some of this stress. I mean, this has been a hard week. It's been a hard week whenever you see these videos of horrific criminality on the part of the federal government. Give me a heart if you don't feel safe. Who does not feel safe in this country? I mean, they're supposed to be the protectors. They say that's what they claim. They claim to be patriots, but they're murdering us. I mean, have these people ever once done anything to make you feel safer? Has anything that this government has done? Oh, good, Karen Sheldon. Has anything that this government has done made you feel safe? They're not protectors. These guys are the criminals. There's some hearts. Elizabeth, thank you for that line of hearts. They're the criminals, they're the murderers, they're the pedophiles and the pedophile enablers, and they're also the Republicans. That's the damn Republican Party. And everything they do is designed to hurt. What's one thing they've done that hasn't been designed to hurt us or our loved ones or our kids? The only thing they know how to do is destroy, take away our rights, stomp over them. Nothing they've done has made me feel safe for 68 years, says King Ray Vet. I know that feeling too. Not a goddamn thing they do is designed to help. They only want to enrich themselves. Lauren's got some ideas here. Smartphone shortcuts that send your current location and start a recording. We'll send it to your loved ones. Boy, I don't know how to do that. I'll have to look. Maybe write an article on that about that, Lauren, and send it to me. Yeah, I mean, we're at this point. your loved ones could be snatched, or just shot in the face by federal agents at any time. And you want to know what happens to the people. And so if Lauren's giving us advice of what to happen if people are getting killed, I mean, you want to go the rest of your life not knowing what happened to the kids they stole from you? I can't think of a worse hell than that. They're doing nothing to protect our kids. I mean, and this is an administration that has tried to repeal birthright citizenship so that they have more kids that don't have the protections of a country, so that they can feed their child trafficking network that still exists. They've arrested exactly, nobody. They've arrested Ghislaine Maxwell. I'll tell you, give you a secret. And people keep talking about the Epstein files. I'll give you a secret. That's still going. That organization never stopped. They're still because why? What makes you think? What assumption do you have? Oh, good thing that ended. Why would you assume that if nobody's been arrested? Why would you assume that? There's just as much of that going on right now today as it used to. I guarantee it. Yeah. So they're out there though, and I mean, I take some hope in that fact. The fact that Daniel's out there blowing the whistle, letting people know that the Gestapo's coming to kill and abduct people. He's blowing the whistle, and we're not seeing anything from this administration in any sense that they're never gonna back down. Their whole thing is this projection of false weakness, so we can't depend on them. We just have to keep putting on the pressure. I always tell people, it's like, don't be results oriented. Don't place your will to act on this anticipation of seeing something positive come from it. Put your motivation just on the positive feeling you get by acting appropriately. It has to be internalized because we've just got to work hard. We might not see change in our lifetimes. We might not see that. Just accept that from the start. And your positive action comes from just knowing that you did something that was the right thing. You blew a whistle, that stopped an abduction. That's positive. That's why we're in this fight. Don't sit there and think and put this pressure on yourself that we haven't won until the regime has been overturned. Day-to-day victories, day-to-day victories. Do positive actions, care for each other. And yeah, you guys, anybody, if you have a hard time with mental health issues, I mean, it's natural right now. Depression, take those walks. Reach out to me if you need help. If you want some advice, I'll do my best to answer. I know some other people that might have the answer if I can't give it to you. But yeah, a big part of this is you got to make the right choices, not because of the results you expect to find, but just because they're the right choices. Just because they're the right choices. Stand and don't believe these lies you get from those centrist Democrats who say, well, we can't run a progressive candidate because they don't even have a chance. And then they turn around. It doesn't make any sense when Democrats get people elected that then vote with the Republicans. So that's a loss. We have to be unapologetically live in accordance with our values. Start doing that. And yeah, you'll make an impact you might not recognize. So just don't even waste energy looking for impact. Do these right things. Stand up for people. It's not that hard to see what's right and wrong right now. It's wrong for federal agents who won't identify themselves to shoot people in the face who are doing nothing wrong. A young mother named Renee Good, who left a 6-year-old child behind. She made an orphan out of that little girl. And this is not a country that takes care of anything. And you know what's going to happen? I mean, everything the Republicans stand for will be about telling that kid, they'll be blaming that child. And it was Republicans who killed that child's mother. They enabled that murder. They're all, the whole Republican Party, they're enabling this murder now. And quite a few of the centrist Democrats are enabling it too. And so get on your phone, make these calls. Just do the small thing. Oh, it was a little boy. I apologize. Little boy. I'd heard that the dad died 3 years ago. And yeah. Awful. I mean, this is just awful. It can't go on anymore. But yeah, for the time being, just hunker down, get entrenched, look to people like Daniel who have been on the front lines, who know how to respond and learn from them. But yeah, I mean, we all have to, every single one of us that flips that switch in our brains, because too many people right now are still too passive. They're not fully aware. And so if you can just capture one more person today, one more person to activate them get them ready to resist, and then get that person to activate. If we start doubling, it doesn't take very long. It doesn't take that long to start getting everybody. Yeah, Cat just mentioned Sandy Hook. And again, this United States of America, there's other countries in the world that have guns, and it's only the United States of America that has these mass shootings, and it's because we've allowed white supremacy to exist. White supremacy is the toxic mind virus that dehumanizes people. It makes them think life has no value. It's always white, frustrated young white men who go shoot up these schools. And, you look at the forces, the ICE forces with as Daniel said, he's been seeing guys with white supremacy tattoos on them. This is a white supremacy administration behind the powers of control in our country. And so there's a lot of ways that we can resist this. They're going to try to indoctrinate this country with their toxic white supremacy hate ideology. They do it every time one of the speakers who represents this administration gets in front of a microphone and starts talking. And they do it subtly. They do it with the language like you saw the vice president doing when he said white people, the nonsense that the white president said about white people not having to apologize anymore. That's white supremacy indoctrination and white supremacy conditioning. The idea that we have to just obey authority is white supremacy indoctrination and white supremacy thinking. The whole mechanism of the government, the federal government, our entire media at this point, the legacy media, is promoting white supremacy hate ideology to the point where even good people that, supported Kamala Harris without knowing it, they carry this because they're unwilling to demand things like universal health care. And we just need those loud, hey, Margaret, I was just about to close up. It's so good to see Margaret here. Margaret is so positive with her form of resistance. And everybody, you guys got to watch your mental health. And there's no better way to practice. Hi, Margaret. And there's no better way to care for your own mental health, than to have community and have conversations. And like the mainstream media, the legacy media, they've pushed us out. Voices like mine are not welcome there, because we're willing to push back against all this hate indoctrination. That's the only thing that our legacy media stands for at this point. So, okay, Cheryl, please jump onto my Substack. I've got an article. I posted it just today. But yeah, we don't even know. And it's one of the things I've talked about with Margaret and with my friend Will Fullwood, who's a racialized black man. And even as a racialized black man, he said that he is indoctrinated with white supremacy hate ideology because it's fundamental to American culture. So, everybody, please have grace with yourself. Often when you're talking about things like that, people start getting defensive. And, I admit it, it's just about being a better person. Being about a better person is accepting that a lot of the things that we've assumed to be true were implanted in our minds against our will, without our consent, without our knowledge, and they're hurting people. And examples are things like when you say, people have always exploited other people all throughout history. We say things like that as passive justifications for cruel behavior. Why don't we say people have always helped each other, since the beginning of history? Why don't we say that? And it's because we've been indoctrinated to think people are bad because it's the confession of white supremacists. They're trying to hide their evil actions by acting as if it's normal. And they've made this entire culture, American culture, believe that these things are normal. These things are justified, that it's okay to amass an obscene amount of wealth. All of that comes from that white supremacy indoctrination. All of it's bad. It hurts your relationships. It hurts your ability to be a good parent. There's so many things that we can do. And the thing is, what they've been trying to do, indoctrinate the whole country to be like them, it's not going to work because it's an ideology of failure. It's an ideology of death and destruction. And only the decent people are the ones who build, the people who support each other and care about each other and embody compassion. Yeah, please, Cheryl, go check out that article. And everybody, please, all 200 of you, please go share that stuff. I want to see that 200, the restacks. I love the likes, but the restacks actually help more. And restack stuff onto social media and get more people on here so people know. I want to share. I got 3 more minutes. I got to take off in a second, but I want to share Dan's page again. Those of you who can donate. That hat he was wearing, the solidarity with Somalia, that was beautiful. What a wonderful way to support
donate, get that hat. Let people know what's going on. Those of you, Dan, I'm gonna have to get more active on Substack. Anybody here? I'd love to get a few more paid subscribers. Haven't had any today. That'd be very helpful. Jump on any of my articles. You can pick anything on the tier. All my articles are free, but I offer all kinds of discounts. Just scroll down to the end and pay whatever you can. Anything that you can pay, and that helps too. And I'll tell you another thing. I see censorship happening a lot, where sometimes people that sign up to receive the free emails don't get them. If you sign up as a paid support at any level, I can do as low as like $20 a year. That would be awesome. And then you're gonna get the emails then. So yeah, thanks everybody. Yeah, mention this. Go grab that defend612.com, share it in a note on Substack, share it on social media, let people know what's happening, because the legacy media, it'd be very easy for them to put a couple cameras on those streets, and legacy media is not fucking doing it. They're not supporting us, and that means they're letting us be killed. They're letting us be shot by these federal agents. So yeah. Oh, thanks, Jed. Appreciate it so much. So I gotta go. I gotta take off now. Dang, dudes, I don't know. That was a hard one. I mean, it made me nervous. I don't like seeing my friends in danger like that. Daniel walking the streets, but at the same time, feel just a surge of gratitude to him for being out there, for standing up for marginalized communities. And if you look like me, you better be out there, because it's up to us. The white people have got to be the ones out there doing this, and we know there are white supremacy groups out there that are the ones walking these streets. And yeah, you can't be quiet anymore. You're welcome, King Ray Vet. Glad to see you here. It's up to us, and do what you can. Be safe, but activate. And this is serious. Don't look at history with those rose-colored glasses anymore, because the truth is right there. And everything white supremacists say is, every accusation is a confession. We know that. And they also inadvertently tell us the means of defeating them, because if you draw out that white supremacy into the light, it just shrivels up and dies, and it tries to scurry back into the shadows where it can reemerge. And we're still fighting the Civil War is essentially what's happening. Those guys, they've been doing this for 150 years. And what do you think the Heritage Foundation is? What do you think those guys that wrote Project 2025? There's a lot of money. There's these quiet rooms. There's a lot of money. There's a lot of lawyers. They're trying to work to reestablish the Confederacy in the United States right now. This is the KKK. People who are sitting there saying it's the Nazis, you guess what, people? The Nazis got their ideology from the Jim Crow laws, and even the Nazis says they weren't going to go that far because the Jim Crow laws were the cruelest thing they'd ever seen. That's what the Nazis said. So when we call this administration a bunch of Nazis, we're acting like it's the other. You know what it is? This is America. This is the true original sin of America. And I'm hoping that this is an extinction burst of white supremacy. What's everything that's going on right now? We've got these white men are so terrified of becoming a minority. They're freaking out. They're still reacting, from the Obama presidency. They're so afraid of becoming a minority. They're trying to just eradicate all other populations. It's really just this juvenile, emotionally stunted viewpoint. That's what we're up against right now. It makes no sense. Our job is not to negotiate with them, not to see their point of view. Our job is to oppose them, to stand for human rights and compassion and decency. And yeah, that's what it is. All right, I gotta get going. I gotta head off. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate all you guys being there. Please, seriously, do the restacks, and please, if you got the funds, go jump on. Let me leave it one more time. 612. Give those guys a donation. They're doing good work. I'll get Daniel on here some more. Get onto I'd rather be writing Substack. Like I said, if you can do me $20 a year, that's the least expensive one. Please do it. We need it. We need the help. I need the support. The bigger we can get, the more we can get to everybody. We're going to win. We're not going to quit. Stay strong. Keep resisting. Be safe. I'm out of here. Thank you.